What's up, people? What's good? What's good? What's good? Let me get the lighting. Yeah, yeah. What's up? How you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are doing better. Better than yesterday. Better than today. Better than tomorrow. Always better, of course. Now, the problem of life. The problem of this existence. Some people, they don't hear the voices. It's funny. Some people, they don't hear the voices. Now, I hear the voices, and what the voices tell me to do, I can't always listen. Which goes into the topic I want to bring to you guys' attention today. Don't always follow your impulses in life. I'm sure you already know that though, so I'm gonna go one level deeper. Suffering is the prerequisite to success in this reality. So, without suffering, there's no potential, there's no growth. Nothing grows without suffering. The tree that grows the highest, its roots have to extend to the lowest depths of hell. Now, if you want to be successful, and when I say successful, I don't mean financial specifically, any kind of success, whatever goals or ambitions you have for yourself, it can be as simple as being happy for a year, making profound friendships for a year. So that's what I mean when I say be successful. But to become successful, you have to endure a certain amount of trauma, of suffering. You know, some people are born and they have everything, at least from what I can see, from what we can see from the outside. But everything has a cost. As I said in my previous video, everything has a price. If someone is born perfect, then they are paying the cost in potential. I'm going to say that one again. If someone is born perfect, then they're paying the cost with potential. Now, if you're anything like me, you weren't born perfect and you are spending the remainder of your life, however long that may be, seeking perfection. So, to seek perfection, you have to be perfect. You have to not you have to be perfect. You have to be perfect in your planning and your action. You cannot slack. You cannot lack in any regard. Everything has to be perfectly documented and measured because you are already facing an impregnable defense. That is Mike Tyson. That is life. Because life, what's that Rocky quote? The Rocky quote goes something like, life will knock you down, you have to keep getting up. That's exactly what I've experienced, and I think a lot of you guys watching this have also experienced. So we just have to keep moving forward, as a certain someone likes to say, until I destroy my enemies. So yeah, some people, they don't hear the voices. What are the voices? If you're one of those people who don't hear the voices, let me explain it to you. So the voices aren't just voices, they're impulses, they're desires, they're distractions. If you're religious, they're demons, they're jinns, they're fallen angels. If you're spiritual, they're aliens, they're Nephilim, which are fallen angels in some of the removed books in the Bible. And if you are a philosophy, I guess we're all philosophies of God. Nah, if you're a philosopher, then it's your shadow. And your shadow, no matter how far you move, it will always be right behind you. The only way to defeat your shadow in this life is to face it. And even when you do face it, you won't necessarily defeat it. You can't defeat your shadow. For your shadow is a immaterial object, an immaterial person. It exists in the metaphysical world, so all you can do is accept it into yourself. And by doing so, you will be stronger than ever. Now, there's a lot of psychologists and pseudo-psychologists, in my opinion, that love to talk about the shadow and accepting the shadow. accepting the negatives along with the positives in life. But I don't think that's entirely accurate. Sure, I've just said that, but when they say that, they're not saying it how I'm saying it. So when I say to embrace your shadow, I mean to embrace everything, all the aspects that you're holding back. Face your fears, but don't just face your fears, internalize your fears, allow them to flow through you like a superhero, like Batman. If you know anything about Batman, Batman fell in a cave, and Batman was ironically scared of bats. What did he do? He faced his shadow. He became the bat that he feared. He became Batman. And that's what I want all of you guys watching to do. I want you guys to become Batman. Become Spider-Man, become Captain Marvel, become a superhero. Become the superhero in your life. Because one thing I learned when I was younger, I was going through some stuff. I was watching TV, I saw a certain character and I was like, man, life would be so good if this guy existed in real life. And that is when it clicked. That's when it dawned upon me. In this life, we were created to become our own superheroes. Now, that might sound corny, but that's only if you look at it from a surface level. If it sounds corny to you, it went over your head. So, in this life, nobody's coming to save you. And you can't even save yourself. All you can do is create exceptionally advanced coping mechanisms to push you forward in life. You could say that life is essentially negative, life is nihilistic, because ultimately, no matter what we do, we are all fated to die. Memento mori, you too shall die. And so, the positive of that is, since death is an inescapable future for most of us, I don't want to die. I'm going to do everything I can do to not die. But since it's an inescapable future, we have to make sure we live perfectly. We do everything to the best of our ability. I heard something interesting. Someone was asked what their morality is, or something on the lines of explaining their morality, how they view morals, good and evil, etc. And what they said, it made a lot of sense to me, and I agree with it. And I believe there is no objective good and evil. There isn't. It's a line in the sand that we draw, and we draw this line to benefit ourselves. So morality is essentially self-serving. Now, if you don't know what I mean by what I'm saying, I can make a deep dive video going into morality. If you guys would like to see that, let me know. But yeah, morality, it's not an objective force. It's a relative measurement that we broadcast onto others to gratify our own egos. Now, what this guy said, his quote was something along the lines of this: I don't believe in good and evil. For me, what is truly evil is that which creates regret. So essentially what he's saying is morality isn't an objective measure, it's simply to regret. Sorry, not morality. Evil is not an objective measure, but regret is the thing which is evil. That which you regret is evil, because at the end of your life, you will remember that and it will make you suffer. And nobody likes to suffer. So if you do not like to suffer, do everything in your potential to ensure you gratify the highest part of yourself and you feel no regrets at the end of your life. You know, life isn't about being successful necessarily. Life is about not having regrets. It's really that simple. There's kids right now studying for their GCSE, stressing, thinking, oh no, if I fail this, my life is over. My friend, in 100 or 120 years, your life will be over regardless. All you will have left is the last moment of your life, the second before death, as your mind quickly creates a time skip where it goes from the age of birth all the way to death. That is the final movie that all of us must watch. And your goal in this life is to ensure that that movie is something you enjoy. So, suffering is guaranteed in life. However, what we can change is our final moments. And we can live in the present to make every second as pleasurable and satisfactory as possible. And that's free game.